Hi everyone, this is attorney David Nguyen and welcome back to Winning Law. Today I want to talk about something that's honestly a little scary. Someone told me that during their immigration interview at a local immigration field office, they were asked to sign a document but weren't allowed to actually read it. Let that sink in slowly. Now, I want to be clear, this has not been confirmed by immigration, and I haven't seen any official news stories that allows them to do this. But since hearing this story, it reminded me of other people who have told me similar things in the past, and that's what's concerning. As an immigration attorney, I have probably handled thousands of cases, so I have seen my fair share of practically every situation. In some of my other cases, people have told me that immigration officers would show up at their homes or their workplaces unannounced and accuse them of fraud. Then they were pressured to voluntarily withdraw their case. One client even shared her story in a testimonial video on my YouTube channel, Winning Law Advance. In the situation, her ex-husband was threatened by immigration officials who claimed that their marriage was fake. They told him he'd be arrested and would have to spend thousands on lawyers. He got scared and he withdrew their case, which ultimately led her to being accused of marriage fraud and placed in deportation proceedings. Luckily, she hired her office and she was able to share her side of the story. So why does all of this even matter? If these reports are true, it raises serious questions about due process and fairness. People should never be asked to sign something they do not understand, especially when it could affect their immigration status, their family, or their future. So what can you do to protect yourself? If you have an upcoming interview or you are worried that something like this may happen to you, here are a few tips. First, bring an attorney if you can. Having legal representation means someone is there to protect your rights and to make sure that everything is on the up and up. Second, ask to read anything before you sign it. You have the right to understand what you are signing. If you're not allowed to read it, that's a red flag. Ask to speak with a supervisor if the officer is uncooperative or threatens you. Third, if you need an interpreter, bring one that's trained. Immigration can disqualify interpreters who are incompetent. And if your interpreter isn't translating everything accurately or verbatim, you could be signing something you don't fully understand. As a rule of thumb, don't sign something if it's written in English and you can't read, you can't speak, or you don't understand English very well. Fourth, know your rights during a site visit. If immigration officers come to your home or your work, you don't have to let them in unless they have a search warrant. You can ask for their names, their badge numbers, and the reason for the visit. You can also record them. And you can say you want to speak with your attorney before answering their questions. And these are my final thoughts on this matter. I hope these reports aren't true. But if they are, it's important to speak up, stay informed, and to protect yourself. Immigration is hard enough without fear and intimidation. Again, this is attorney David Nguyen. Thanks for watching Winning Law, and we hope that we have made immigration easier to understand.